Man, no, that's such good wisdom. And I think that's even amplified now. And it's probably always been an issue, but you're on Instagram and you see like the family bucket list type people, and you're like, oh my gosh, I want that. I want someone that will, everyone's going to give us all the likes on Instagram because we just look the perfect together. And the reality is like, man, that's like 5% of anyone's day at most. And
Yeah.
if it's 5%, it's too much.
Yeah.
And there's so much more going on. So yeah, I think that is absolutely good wisdom and a great story. So God gave you that story for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Absolutely.
man, and you tied right to it with that verse, but so if you get to the point you're like, okay, I'm in an age I can date. I feel like I have the person to date. How should you date? Um,
Yeah. I'll give you one more on that other question is just like, Proverbs 31:30 says, charm is deceitful and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. And I think we live in a society that overvalues charm and beauty, and is saying something is like, charm can't be trusted and beauty's going away. And that's true. Like, man, in reality, like we all peak at when we're 23, and then it's just kind of downhill from there. Like I look back at my honeymoon pictures, I'm speaking for myself, and I'm just like, wow, man, you kind of had everything in the right place. And now like gravity and is taking its toll, and my hair's turning gray,
it gets
and
everyone.
I'm telling you, man, I got this like spare tire around my waist, and I know when you're 16, like that just seems like forever away, and that the last thing that you need to worry about. But here's my counsel for you is just know that beauty is a depreciating asset and charm is deceptive, and that's always going to be true for the rest of your life. And so you asked on you to ask your question again.
Yeah, I said, man, that's super helpful, and I think really tangible wisdom. How should you date? So if you get to the point that you feel good about dating, you have people around you that are saying, yeah, you're okay to date. You find someone that could potentially be a marriage partner in life or ministry.
Mm.
How should you date?
Yeah, intentionally. And so, like, it's the pathway to a promise. So, like, just know where it's going. Remove confusion. Like, ask if you have questions, ask them and answer them clearly. Because, like, it's not good to like leave somebody wondering and just their hearts swirling around. And so, like, ghosting is a big thing right now. Like, ghosting is wicked, satanic, and sinful. Like, let me be really clear with you. Like, you don't, like, as believers, we don't leave somebody hanging so that we can play games and jack with their heart. Like, that's just not kind, and it's a disgrace to God. So ghosting is a sin for the rest of your life. Just know that. And leaders remove confusion, and God's people remove confusion. So anywhere you can remove confusion, like you don't want Romans 12:9 says, love must be sincere, hate what is evil, cling to what is good. And so you want a love that is sincere, and so be sincere. Games are not sincere. Date with purity, right? 1 Corinthians 6:18-20 says, flee sexual immorality, really sins against their own body. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you've received from God? You are not your own. You've been bought by a price. Therefore, honor God with your body. Uh, Paul in Thessalonians tells us to like learn to control the members of our body. And so, you date with purity, you date with intentionality. The other side of intentionality is intense. Like some guys are just super intense, especially guys who've grown up in the church are like, okay, I want to be intentional. And it's like, I'm going to pick you up at 7. I'm going to walk to the door. I'm going to have 2 flowers, 1 rose, 1 Gerber daisy. It's just like, okay, slow down. Like you can have fun. You can be spontaneous, but you just want to know where this is going. And I would use the word date because it removes confusion. Like, hey, are we just friends? I would, communicate like kind of where how it's progressing and where you hope to see that it's going. Um, I would date with friends, like in Song of Solomon 1 verse 4, he says their friends praise their love more than the wine. And what it's saying is like more than the party, that the people around them came together and were in agreement with what the couple had for one another. And so you just want your community and your friends nodding their heads, their parents nodding their heads. If someone doesn't like, if people hate your boyfriend or people hate your girlfriend, it's usually a red flag. people always think it's unfounded. It's usually not unfounded. So there's something usually, that typically there's a yellow light there to slow down and to kind of reevaluate and to ask questions. Um, what else on how to date? What am I missing, Derek?
No, I mean, I, I think you hit it, man. Like, you're communicating clearly. You're staying pure, physically. And we touched on earlier in our conversation, but just being aware, even if it's like the emotional boundaries that you can cross. Like, you don't need to plan your life together in your first month of dating.
Yeah. Yeah. Emotional promiscuity is a real thing. And so
Yeah.
people talk on the phone less now, but I know FaceTime's a thing. And so just like the long lingering conversations, even if it's a text conversation, like all the me too's and me too, I love cats, me too. I love, I love my grandmother, me too. It's so crazy. And your heart's just getting all
That's good.
wrapped up in that. So Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Uh, keep your heart with all vigilance, for everything you do comes from it. And so I do think that there's this reality of the world tries to make someone fall in love with them as fast as possible. That's not how Christians date. Like, Christians proceed with caution, and just to ask the question, like, hey, is this going for me in marriage? And to know that, you have to understand what marriage is. And then as you date, you're just asking the questions like, hey, what do I need to? I always ask people that, like, people say they're dating, I say, why? And I said, well, what do you mean why? I'm like, well, what are you hoping to find out? Like, that's what it means to date with intentionality. Like, what do you need to find out to determine? Because the way the world answers that question is like, well, just like a feeling, like I'm just going to get a feeling and then I'll know. You just know when you know. It's like, man, that's stupid. No, you know when you find what you're looking for. And so it's like, if I'm looking for, like, so pants, for example, like, I'm a weird size pant. I'm 36 length. You can't find everywhere, right?
No, you can't. That's long, man.
Yeah, and so it's like when I'm looking for pants, like, I'm not picking up 32 34s, because I don't wear 32 34. I don't pick up, and I'm not in even that. There's like a style of pant I'm looking for. It's like, there has to be the right kind of skinny, the right kind of loose. And so when I go looking for pants, like, I know what I'm looking for, and it's like, I'm not going to look at things I'm not looking for. That would be silly. And so in the same way, when you're dating, you need to know what you're looking for, and it's not a feeling. I'm going to tell you right now, you're not looking for a feeling. You're looking for a person whose heart God already has, and that they're going to be a great, you know, husband or wife, a great mother or father to your children. And when you find them, you know it, because it's like, okay, yeah, this is what God tells. They have all of the criteria that God tells me is important. You got to remember, like, in the Bible, in biblical times, a lot of people met at the altar. So, like, they didn't go through the anguish that a lot of us have. Is like, the first time they're meeting each other is like as they are getting married, and so there's something for us to learn from that.